Hi, quick message from the car today. I'm just getting information about Taurus season. Can't wait for Taurus season personally. As an Aries rising, I'm always like sort of a basket case throughout all Aries season. I think that people with fire placements rise to the occasion of the intensity and they can handle it, but it also brings up and out of the persona the more fiery aspects. And so like I can't wait for the grounded, mellow chill that comes with Taurus season. Also just the solar flare activity, again, like thinking about how the Aries season is correlated with like the solar eclipse and the strong dichotomies within that, because it was a new moon. We had the lunar eclipse, but the solar eclipse was on a new moon. So that's really cool, because if thinking about like the new moon being totally dark and not visible from our sky, yet it still completely eclipsed the sun when it was like in its total dark side of the moon aspect. The solar activity, I think recently we're in like M class. Like there's C class, there's X class. M class are like the mid-sized solar flares. The X ones are bigger, where the coronal mass ejection, the CME, there's different amounts of like threshold for how much that's going to interact with Earth's energy, or how much we'll be able to actually perceive that. And if anybody has felt like it's sort of back to back, it's going to be relaxing just a touch, but only so that we can integrate some of the spikes. Like it's still not going back to how it was before. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, perhaps my messaging isn't for you, because there's like a very specific sensitive level of interpreting the energy and the energetic changes that I don't think a lot of people will be privy to unless you kind of follow along in the same way that I tend to. So it's not like a going back to the way that it was before this uptick in intensity, but there's going to be what I talked about in the video from 2 videos ago with rock climbing, where it's like sometimes if you're rock climbing, you have to take a step back to go forward, or you have to pause to kind of assess where each one of your 4 limbs, 2 hands, 2 feet, where they're placed, and if it makes sense to move, laterally before ascending, or taking a step back before you ascend, because you have to strategically plan out not just your next move, but how that's going to lead to another move. So the message coming through for me today is about having a little bit of a step back in the intensity, which is much welcome from anybody who's been activated with fire placements. And then using that little touch back, that little, and I'm not saying like, what day is it? This is happening within the next week. This is transitioning within the next week. And that aligns with what I got from that other message too. It's like a slow softening into Taurus season, which we really need. It's almost like Taurus is like coming up to ground all of the changes. And we like that. Good morning. I guess I'm gonna link this video to the one that I did yesterday. Now it's Wednesday the 17th. I haven't posted a reading for 2 days, but I'm gonna do one this evening. Message that I have coming in about the upcoming full moon. So we had a new moon for the solar eclipse, and now we have a full moon coming up. And what I'm getting from this one is that it's gonna be like whatever is unsettled right now, whatever has like come up to be acknowledged, it's going to be a time to commit to going forward without those things, to the best of your ability, to wrap your consciousness around these formerly unperceived blind spots. To commit to going forward without them is the best thing that we can do transitioning into Taurus season. And a reason for this is because Taurus season, like I always see Aries season, and again, I think I said this yesterday, but like, who can't wait for it to not be Aries season? Me. It's just a very intense time, especially for people who have fire placements, and it's sort of like it just sets all of the energy and the issues and the things that are going on fire. It sets them ablaze. And then what do we get from like ashes? I mean, it's residue, right? And Taurus season is the earth, like returning to the earth. But there's also like a phoenix from the ashes thing. So there's something like blazing during Aries season that's giving way to what remains. And I'm also getting a vision about, this is all different kinds of Buddhism monks and llamas throughout time, like if they are undergoing the cremation process, there will be relics left over, and you can see these relics in different places throughout Asia at temples and stuff. There's a place in Kathmandu, Nepal called Kopan, which is a monastery, and they have relics there that are like gems and pearls, and they're what was left over from the cremation of certain monks. So it's sort of like what is left over is returned to the earth. Like I'm seeing whatever gets burned away during Aries season, the gems that are remaining are what gets kind of like pulled into reality, because Taurus, earth, 3D, material. It's like, it's also this sanitization, because if you think about it, burning away stuff is a sanitary process. So those are my messages for today. On occasion with my job, I'm a very mobile creature. I go from place to place. On occasion, I don't have time to get to a physical toilet. And I had a really nice pee by this pond out in the forest. There's nobody here. There's nobody around. It's a perfectly safe place to get out of my car and pee on the side of the road. But anyway, I was just peeing, looking at the water, thinking about how nice it is to be outside and be uninterrupted. I'm always thinking about that, because that's always kind of probably where I would rather be. But if anybody's having a hard time, like for instance, I haven't done a reading, number one, because I'm dealing with the transition into being a diabetic dog mom, which, like, by the way, I thought there would be an abundance of diabetic dog moms with blogs on the on the old YouTube, but there's not. Maybe I have to start a new channel about what it's like to be a diabetic dog mom. But yeah, that's been a lot. And then in addition to that, not doing readings is a result of not connecting to guidance in a collective way. I'm just like very touch and go with my own intuition, keeping things moving. And I feel like that's a collective energy, like not having the time to come back to the self and hear, like, we're very much like in the moment reactionary to things in the energies this week. And any time outside can help us come back to processing at a more metacognitive level. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope everyone's having a good day.